And hello to all of you beautiful CEs, your esteemed guests, and our newest Sparks. It's so awesome. When I was asked by Gretchen to share a bit of my heart with all of you tonight, I said a quick yes. I'm a yes person, people pleaser. But then when I thought about it a little bit more, it's not just in one of our day sessions. We have more individuals here. And I kind of heard my son, Bo, the 2-year-old, in my head saying "Usta," which is his Minnesota version of "Ufta." And that's a picture. Ah. But truly, what an honor it is to be back up here with all of you. And I'm going to take you a bit on my journey with Trades of Hope after our time at Empower last summer. So you may remember me if you were there. I was waddling around Opryland Hotel as I was 11 months pregnant with our fourth babe. It was delightful to meet Mushtaq and Conwell from Pakistan, to hear and visit from our artisans at Thistle Farms. And in my heart, I'm feeling amped and ready to go forward and continue to do this good work that we do. But at the same time, I was at a point where I wanted to put my feet up, literally and figuratively. I was preparing to have another baby. I had been a CE for 4.5 years. I was feeling happy and proud of my past accomplishments, but I was also tired. And I was getting nervous. Once that fall hit, I did not know what my work would look like when, my husband went back to teach in his classroom. When we had a newborn, we had a toddler, a second grader with special needs, and our oldest starting at a new school. I think it was at this point where I knew the seeds of doubt and fear were starting to get planted. And so September 1st arrived, and we had a precious baby girl, Vida, meaning life. And honestly, my fears were for naught, as I was super proud of myself in that fall season. I kept right on plugging away at what I knew to do, which was have Trades of Hope parties. Granted, they were more online than in-home during that month. But I hit my personal sales goals, and I even sponsored 2 new CEs that month. I'm like, what? With an infant? What? And then October, November rolled in, and of course, those months, as our nation, our team at large, we sold over $700,000 in combined PRV in 1 month. And it was that mountain high as we rolled into, we rolled out of our peak season. In December, I eked by, making my personal sale goals, and then a new year started. January remained fair. Thank you, Double Hostess Rewards. And then spring came. And March actually brought my lowest PRV goal in my 5 years as a CE. I felt at my lowest physically, emotionally, and spiritually. At a time when we were supposed to be getting out of the doldrums of winter, when I was telling my team to breathe life into their own businesses as warmer air and sunshine was rolling in, I felt frozen. And that is when the guilt and the shame and the fear, discouragement, and unbelief really started to take root. Looking back, I kind of know now it was because I was not actively planning ahead. I was kind of just in a survival mode for my work. I was just trying to get things done, and I had to take care of what was in front of me right in that moment. And some of you here tonight, you might not have ever experienced this, and for that I'm so grateful. But I know there are some of you in this room who have, and you likely are. You've come to Inspire needing that breath, to be inspired. And that is fair and what I needed in that slow and low point of my business. I truly believe we are against higher powers in this work. I believe we are fighting for the good, but we are not only up against our own mental battlefields in this work, because there's a spiritual component that we are fighting against as well. We have been called to be light bearers. We are hope dealers. We are a city on a hill, but as we shine, we have to remember there is no room for guilt or shame to reside in this work. We need to guard and gird ourselves with the truth of what we have been called to as compassionate entrepreneurs. And we need to come back to that truth. When we are pulled in 1,001 directions and feeling like I cannot make one more phone call to hear no, I can't have one more failed follow-up or another cancellation or just one more teammate leaving to do something else. That is when I want you to breathe. That is when I know it is time to take a breath before you break. That is when I want you to refocus, because that is what pulled me through my doubts and my fears and my shame, so I could resurface in my first love and joy for my work in Trades of Hope. So right now we're going to do a little activity. I want you to reach out and touch a piece of Trades of Hope you are wearing. And if you don't have any on, I do believe we're about to remedy that in a little minute because we have a fall line releasing. But you can also just reach over and touch your neighbor's wrist or ear. I'm sure she wouldn't mind. But I just want you to take a second. And I want you to think about that woman. Don't get weird, people. It's just a touch of jewelry. I want you to think about that woman that crafted that piece. And I want you to think about how she may have questioned where she was going to sleep all those nights before she found this artisan group, or they found her. Think about how she has wondered how to feed her babies that night, or the next day, or the next month, before she learned a skill how to make a beautiful piece of jewelry. But really, think about how she knows now that she belongs to the group she works in. And she only has room for belief that she is free and things will work for her good. I believe I can speak for the majority of individuals in this room that we've never had to ask ourselves some of those same questions. I have never needed to doubt where my next meal or bed would be. I don't know why there is such a disparaging gap between the haves and the have-nots, but I do know they exist. I do know I have let the fears take my voice and my heart from speaking out and sharing what I know. I have felt inadequate and small and honestly sometimes insignificant. I have seen leaders in this group or on my team walk away. I have let their convictions or decisions convict and judge me when there was no reason to. I could have easily thrown in that proverbial towel because I didn't want to show some grit and stay in the game. But then words from songs like I Saw What I Saw from recording artist Sarah Groves play in my car. Songs with words that touch my core and remind me that I am accountable to act even when fear or I doubt myself. Her words are like this. They say, I saw what I saw and I can't forget it. I heard what I heard and I can't go back. I know what I know and I can't deny it. Something on the road cut me to the soul. Your pain has changed me. Your words inspire. Your face a memory. Your hope a fire. Your courage asks me what I'm afraid of, what I am made of, and what I know of love. Another favorite song of mine is Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing. And there's a line, Here I raise my Ebenezer, hither by thy help I've come. In the Old Testament, we gain further understanding about what it means to raise my Ebenezer. 1 Samuel 7 states that the Israelites were actually under attack by the Philistines. They were outnumbered and in fear for their lives, so they pled with the prophet Samuel to pray for God's help. So Samuel offered a sacrifice and prayed for protection. In response, the Lord smote the Philistines. There's a good word for you, smote. And they retreated to their territory. This victory is recorded in verse 12. Then Samuel took a stone and set it up between Mizpah and Shem. He named it Ebenezer, saying, Thus far the Lord has helped us. In Hebrew, the word Ebenezer means stone of help. This raised stone was a reminder to the Israelites of what the Lord had done for them. This Ebenezer quite literally was a monument set to remember the great help that God granted the one raising the stone. I see every Trades of Hope piece as an Ebenezer stone. What a testament to the work God is doing around the world with and for our sisters and brothers as their lives are helped through these pieces. And when I do my part, when I do what our mission statement breathes and what compelled my heart to beat for the work in Trades of Hope, to speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute, to speak up and judge fairly, to defend the rights of the poor and the needy, and to be their voice, then that is when fear and shame and guilt dissipates. I belong to that artisan, and she belongs to me. We are sisters, and you, look next to you, in front of you, behind you. We are sisters. We belong. I belong. You belong. And when we belong, we believe. We can believe in this mission and this purpose like it's this work like it ain't nobody's business. We can step off our planes on Sunday or Monday with confidence that whatever awaits us, whoever is waiting for us to ask and share this good news with, that it is for truth. It is for hope. It is for something greater than me. But what a gift, as Gretchen mentioned, that we get to play a tiny part in the plan from our corners of the world. And I plan to step off a plane on Sunday afternoon back in Minnesota. I'll greet my husband with a quick kiss and a hug as we throw my bags into the trunk and, get hustled away before the airport police catches us. And I'll be asked again, what will I do to act in this day? How will I use my belief and my belonging to this sisterhood? How will I overcome my fears and my doubts when I fail at a goal or I just feel like a failure? And my answer to this is to focus on this truth. We are here to keep the main thing the main thing. Main being, my action is needed. I want you to say that with me. My action is needed. I am needed. You are needed. It is a responsibility we bear, but it is a light one. It is a joyful responsibility. It is a life-giving responsibility. If you are a believer, then you know he has made our burden light. We are not alone. You are not alone. So in closing, when you get home, as you step into the high of our most abundant season of the year, I want you to start training yourself now to guard your hearts and your mind against all doubt and fear. I encourage you to daily put on a piece of our beautiful jewelry, admire its craftsmanship, think about its maker, think about the maker. Shout out the words, "Not today, Satan." Raise up your Ebenezer, throw a few punches in the air if you want, and keep your head focused on that main thing. Thank you.